Level 0 base in Afghanistan. Deep night, you open your eyes. The air is thick with dust, the smell of burnt kerosene and hydraulic fluid. Around you is the deafening, bone-vibrating roar of a Black Hawk helicopter's rotors. You sit in the twilight of the troop compartment. On your helmet are massive 4-tube GPN VG-1-8 night vision goggles. On your body is heavy armor, soaked through with your own ice-cold sweat. Next to you, cramped together, sit 12 other men. No one says a word. Words aren't needed here. You communicate only with glances and slight touches. You are flying in pitch darkness over enemy territory. At extremely low altitude, your landing gear almost clipping the treetops, toward a target that intelligence has been hunting for 10 long years. If you make a mistake, it will become an international scandal. If you get shot down, the government will say at the morning briefing that you were never there. You are an operator of the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, DEVGRU, popularly known as SEAL Team 6. The most Hollywood-hyped and simultaneously the most highly classified unit on the planet. The guys tasked with eliminating Tier 1 threats. But while the whole world sleeps peacefully in their warm beds, you are preparing to step into absolute, deadly obscurity, into a house full of traps, weapons, and fanatics. What do you do in these final minutes of flight? Feverishly run through the assault plan in your head, burning your nervous system with adrenaline, or close your eyes and force your pulse to slow down, completely shutting off any emotions. Choose adrenaline shake or cold control. Level 1, Candidate Water and Sand, Coronado, California. A few years ago, you always wanted to be a Navy SEAL. But to enter the elite of the fleet, you must pass BUD-S, Basic Underwater Demolition, SEAL Training, and its most terrifying test, Hell Week, Wednesday, the third day, with absolutely no sleep. You are lying in the freezing water of the Pacific Ocean, arms locked with the guys from your boat crew. The waves mercilessly beat your face, pouring water into your nose and throat. Sand has packed under your uniform, rubbing the skin on your thighs and stomach down to raw meat. Next to you are guys who were high school football stars, state wrestling champions. They are crying, breaking, and walking to ring the shiny brass bell to quit. Because the ocean doesn't care about your huge biceps. The ocean doesn't break your body. The ocean breaks your mind. On the wet sand, a few centimeters from your face, you notice a snail in a tiny fedora hat. It gets washed away by freezing waves over and over, but stubbornly crawls forward on the wet rock. An instructor with a megaphone walks up to you. His voice sounds like sweet, enveloping mockery. Guys, why are you torturing yourselves? You understand, this will never end. Right. A hot shower, dry clothes, and coffee with donuts are waiting for you right now. Just stand up, walk to the bell, and this pain will stop forever. Your hypothermic brain screams, "Get up, we're going to die." Why do we need this? But if you quit, you betray your dream. Out of the fog on the pier appears Detective Jimmy in his usual trench coat. He looks at his watch. "This is not a test of physical strength," he says, over the noise of the waves. "This is psychological calibration. They are looking for people whose inner core doesn't snap when comfort disappears. Hell Week destroys your ego. If your incentive is to show off your medals in a bar, you will quit on the first day. Only those survive here who have found a reason to suffer that is bigger than themselves. Level 2, Green Team Selection, among the best, Virginia Beach. 2 years ago, you passed Bud S. You got the trident on your chest. You became a Navy SEAL. But for DEVGRU, that's not enough. You applied for Green Team. This is the selection for SEAL Team 6, the major leagues. Here, they weed out the SEALs themselves. Half of the best won't pass this course. They don't try to freeze you in the ocean or make you run with a log here. Here, they test your ability to make lethal decisions in split seconds, close quarters battle. CQB training goes on for weeks, months, until your fingers get bloody calluses from the trigger. You storm into the kill house. You are using live fire in a fraction of a second, in gunpowder, smoke, and darkness. You must distinguish a cardboard target with a weapon from the target of a woman with a child, and shoot 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. 1 wrong move, 1 millisecond of hesitation or doubt, and you hit a hostage. There is no room for error here. If you miss, you are kicked out of the program forever, without a second chance. In the corner of the training room, by a bullet-riddled wall, stands Detective Jimmy. The Snail sits on his shoulder, watching the smoking brass casings on the floor. The price of a millisecond, Jimmy states quietly, pulling out a notepad. An ordinary person analyzes the situation, calculates the threat. You don't have time for that. Your brain is rewired to the level of unconditional instincts. You see a threat, you eliminate it. But have you ever thought about what it's like to live with such instincts in a peaceful society? When any loud pop on the street makes your hand reflexively reach for a weapon that isn't there. Level 3, the burden of the trident pirate culture, Dam Neck Base. Present day you passed. You are in the squadron. You wear the gold trident on your chest. DEVGRU are modern pirates. You have your own strict internal rules, your own tattoos, your own incredibly dark humor. You call yourselves the Brown Water, but this elite status comes with a destructive price. The operational tempo is absolutely insane. You deploy 2 hotspots around the world continuously. You are home only a few months a year. Your wife is tired of waiting for a ghost. Your children grow up seeing you only on video calls. One night, after another grueling mission in the Middle East, where you lost one of your guys, you are sitting in a half-empty bar on base. You stare at your glass of whiskey, and you can't take a sip. A chilling realization builds inside you. You have forgotten how to feel grief. You bury your brothers, but your face remains made of stone. Your hands don't shake. The system burned the weakness out of you so you could work. But along with the weakness, it burned out part of your humanity. What do? Down the glass in one gulp, suppressing the remaining emotions and preparing for the next assault, or step outside and try to call your family, just to hear their voices and feel alive. Choose, freeze feelings, or seek connection. Jimmy sits on the adjacent bar stool. Anesthesia of the soul, he says, looking at the empty glass. To survive in hell, you shut down empathy. You become the perfect, flawless instrument of the state. But when the war ends, only a few can turn their empathy back on. The tragedy of Team 6 is not that they risk their lives. It's that many of them freeze emotionally forever. By the way, if you are watching this video, it means you are looking for the truth, not beautiful Hollywood fairy tales. YouTube algorithms don't like complex, deep content. They hide such videos. Your like and subscription right now is the best way to tell us keep going. One click, do it. We are moving on. Level 4. Public myth and secret reality. Veterans Support Center. 5 years later, your service is over. You are a civilian. Society is obsessed with an incredible, almost religious cult of SEAL Team 6. Blockbusters are filmed about them, books are written, former SEALs give interviews, run podcasts, become millionaires. Quiet professionals who suddenly became the loudest people in media. You were also offered a book deal to tell about that specific night in Afghanistan, to reveal the details of the operation, to make a lot of money, provide for your family. But you remember your oath. You remember the brothers who died in silence and remained unknown. Every day on the street, people come up to you, recognizing your tattoos. They genuinely thank you for your service. They think you are a superhero from a movie, an impenetrable piece of steel. But they don't know that you can't sleep at night without pills. That your spine is ruined from heavy loads and your knees creak with every step. That the sound of fireworks on Independence Day makes your body reflexively tense up. You are trapped in a golden cage of the myth of your own invulnerability. No one wants to hear about your pain. Everyone wants to hear a fairy tale about heroes. Level 5, Psychological Archive, Jimmy's Secret Archive. Twilight, you walk down into the basement. Dim light, endless steel shelves. Jimmy is waiting for you at a metal desk, laying out documents. The platform strictly enforces its rules, so we will not talk about blood or violence. The detective begins, adjusting his hat. We will dissect what happens inside the operator's head, about the rules of psychology that cannot be broken without irreversible consequences. Phenomenon 1. Stress, inoculation, and apathy. Hell Week harshly reprograms the brain's reaction to stress. Jimmy opens the first folder. The brain learns to ignore freezing water, pain, fatigue, and deprivation. The person receives a vaccine against panic. But in civilian life, this mechanism malfunctions. The veteran stops responding to normal stimuli. What brings joy to ordinary people? Buying a new car, a quiet holiday, delicious food evokes nothing but ringing emptiness in him. The brain demands previous doses of adrenaline just to feel something. Psychological first aid. Do not try to artificially seek adrenaline in civilian life through destructive behavior, speed, conflicts. The brain needs to be smoothly warmed up with safe emotions. Deep hobbies, non-lethal sports, helping other people, volunteering. Google, stress inoculation, training psychology. Phenomenon 2. Hypervigilance. The snail slowly crawls across the unrolled blueprints of the kill house. Years of training in Green Team force the brain to scan the environment for threats 24/7. In a restaurant, the veteran always sits facing the door. He evaluates the gait of everyone who enters. His nervous system is in a constant state of fight or flight. This frenetically exhausts the body. The adrenal glands burn out from the constant release of cortisol. A person destroys their psyche simply because they cannot relax in their own living room. Psychological first aid, mindfulness, and somatic therapy. You need to physically teach your nervous system to understand the stand-down command. Without professional therapy, body practices, and breath work, the brain will not turn off the radars on its own. Google, hypervigilance, combat veterans, PTSD. Phenomenon 3. Identity enmeshment. Being a Navy SEAL is not a job, it is a lifestyle, the detective states. The problem is that when a person is discharged, they lose themselves. If I no longer wear the gold trident, then who am I? Just a regular guy in line for coffee. This leads to a severe identity crisis. The veteran feels like a nobody, a faceless shadow. Psychological first aid. Build your identity on multiple pillars, not just one. You are not just your profession. You are a father, a friend, a creator, a brother. Diversify your personality. If one pillar collapses, you will stand on the others. Google identity enmeshment, career transition, psychology. Phenomenon 4. The paradox of the quiet professional. Jimmy pulls out the cover of a bestseller by a former special operator from the folder. The ethos of special operations demands absolute silence, but the modern world demands publicity and fame. Those who stay in the shadows, honoring their oath, often experience colossal pressure and resentment. They carry the burden of secrets alone, while others monetize their shared history and become stars. This causes deep internal conflict and a sense of injustice. Psychological first aid. Your value is not measured by likes, sold books, or the recognition of a crowd. True self-respect is born within, not in the comments of fans. Stay true to your personal principles, even if they don't pay for them. Google quiet professional ethos, psychology. Phenomenon 5. Survivor's guilt. Jimmy sighs heavily and puts the documents back in the folder. In elite squadrons, losses are felt like the loss of a part of one's own body. A person returns home and tortures himself for years with the question, why them and not me? I could have done more. I should have been in his place. This guilt burns from the inside, forcing the veteran to subconsciously punish himself. He ruins his marriage, pushes away friends, refusing to be happy because he believes he didn't earn it. Psychological first aid. The only way to honor the memory of fallen brothers is to live a good, worthy life for them, not to destroy your own as a tribute of grief. They gave their lives not for you to destroy yours. Google survivor's guilt, military psychology, recovery. The light in the archive goes out. Jimmy dissolves into the shadows. Only the snail remains on the desk, slowly pulling in its horns.
Author's note. Hello, SEAL Team 6, DEVGRU, Navy SEALs. We often see them in the news as flawless supermen solving unsolvable problems. Hollywood sells us the image of invulnerable heroes with square jaws, but behind this shiny myth hide real human lives, with destroyed joints, colossal stress, and extremely heavy memories. YouTube and social media only like to show the glossy side. But on this channel, we try to look deeper, into the very core of the human mind, because many of these phenomena affect you and me, ordinary civilians, as well. For example, identity enmeshment. Have you never felt completely consumed by your job or status? When your position became the whole meaning of your life? And when something went wrong, or you were fired, did you feel like you lost yourself? Or hypervigilance, when stress at work makes you nervous and snap even at home, and complete safety? Go to the community tab on the Detective Jimmy and Snail channel. I have already created a poll for this episode there. Which psychological trap from this video is the hardest for you in real life? And remember, we strictly follow the platform's rules. We do not promote violence. We promote mental health. Protect your psyche. No system is worth your sanity. This was the Detective Jimmy and Snail channel. See you in the shadows.